The economic challenges facing Nigeria are not insurmountable. Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Olayemi Cardoso, gave the assurance while speaking at the 58th annual dinner of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria. Cardoso is optimistic that the removal of petrol subsidy and other economic policies of government will have positive effect on the economy in the medium term.
A growth rate of 2.36% is expected in the third quarter of 2023, with an anticipated increase of 3.9% in the fourth quarter as various reforms take effect. The domestic factors affecting Nigeria's economic performance span a wide range, encompassing both social and economic aspects. Insecurity remains a pressing issue, affecting the agricultural, industrial, and services sectors simultaneously.
To discuss this further, I'm being joined by an economist analyst, Professor Ofili Ugwudioha. Hello, Professor, and thank you so much for joining me this afternoon on the news.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. It's good to have you. All right, Prof. What are your thoughts on the accusations by the CBN Governor Olayemi Cardoso that Emefiele distracted the CBN from achieving its primary objectives?
Yeah, thank you very much for this question. Like I said, I told you earlier, I'm a financial analyst, not an economist. And what we're discussing is basically on the
apologies for that, Professor.
Monetary and the financial issues, financial management of the country. Here, I listened to his speech, very nice, and I quite agree with him because the previous central bank governor or management team did not favor Nigeria in any way. I have had several discussions on different media on this very issue when Emefiele was still in power. And I always said that Emefiele's monetary policy is destroying the economic growth because one of the key functions or objectives of monetary policy is to stimulate economic growth. It is to reduce unemployment. It is to reduce inflation. And it is to control interest rates, to make interest rates affordable by industries and the commercial sectors that are engaged in economic activities. Another function is also to stabilize the exchange rate. And of course, basically to increase the value of the national currency in case of Nigeria, because that is what is required. So these are the core functions of monetary policy of a government. And this monetary policy is meant to actually support the fiscal policy of the government so that they will come in tandem to be able to stimulate the growth of the national economy, whether it's Nigeria or in any nation. But almost all these factors or key functions or objectives of the CBN were never, none of them was ever achieved under the previous administration.
All right, Professor. Yes. While we're still on that, now the Olayemi Cardoso did accuse Emefiele of pumping in 10 trillion naira into quasi-interventionist activities. Now, would like for you to tell us how have these diversions impacted the economy and really how bad has it been or how bad is it?
Yeah. If you look at the core policy objectives of CBN, which is the monetary policy of a nation, you see that of all these were not the target of the former CBN team. All these things I mentioned, all these six things I mentioned here, which are the core objectives, they were not following it. Rather, they were going into farmers borrowing. I don't know what that means. You take this, you give this. They did a lot of loan to farmers that were not payable. And most of them have become bad loans. But this is not the function of central bank to lend to the general public. The central bank can lend or give money or stimulate the commercial banks. It is the commercial bank's duty to lend to the public because they refuse to look at the interest rate which affect borrowing. Then you are now saying you are lending to the public in 10 digits, in less than 10 digits. Why not make the commercial bank that are close to the public, that are close to consumers, that are close to manufacturers, close to commercial sectors, make them lend money in that single digit? Then it will impact positively on the nation. So they went into certain things that I cannot say is personal agenda, but it is against the monetary policy of any nation. Nobody will take that
okay, Professor. Now, just